ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰਗ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਅਸ਼ਟਪਦੀ 14वीं 14th अष्टपदी सुखमनी साहिब जी। श्लोक तजो सियाणप सुरिजनो सिमरो हर हर राय एक आस हर मन रखो नानक दुख परम बहु जाए। तजो सियाणप सुरिजनो, ओ the devotees of the Almighty, abandon your worldly wisdom. Tajo sadap surjano simro har har rai, and remember God. God who is acclaimed to be Rai. Rai means king, the omniscient, omnipotent king. Ek aas har man rakho nanak dukh baram bau jaye. Keep the belief, keep the faith, keep the treasure in your heart. Keep the hopes in the Almighty, and your troubles and every kind of duality and fear will vanish. Keep faith in the Almighty. अष्टपदी मानुक की टेक बिरथी सब जान देवन को एक भगवान। मानुक की टेक बिरथी सब जान देवन को एक भगवान। Manu ki take prithvi sab jaan. Realize that all reliance on any individual, on any material thing or any man is useless. Devan ko ek hai Bhagwan. The Lord Almighty is the only giver. He is the only truest donator. He is the entity which is perennially showering everything. जिसके दिए रहे अकाए बहुर न तृष्णा लागे आए। By whose gifts, by whose blessings we all are satiated, we all are satisfied. बहुर न तृष्णा लागे आए, and after that there is no yearning which is left. मारे राखे एको आप मान के किछ नाही आत। The Almighty Himself is the cause of death and the cause of any person being saved. Manak ke kich nahi hath. In the hands of man there is nothing, there is no power, there is absolutely nothing which a man can do when the Almighty is doing everything. जिसका हुक्म बुझे सुख होए तिसका नाम रख कंठ पर होए। Happiness, तिसका हुक्म बुझे सुख होए. The happiness, the true satisfaction comes by accepting God's will. हुक्म रजाई चलना नानक लिखिया नाल, which comes in the Japji Sahib. तिसका हुक्म बुझे सुख होए तिसका नाम रख कंठ पर होए. In your throat, in your mind, in your inner realm, always listen to God, always be with God. Tiska naam rakh kand par hoye. And on your throat, in your tongue, on your vocal cords, you should recite God's name at every instance or very, very frequently. Simar 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 prabh sohe nanak bigan na lage koe. Contemplate, my dear, contemplate the Lord Almighty. And when you contemplate the Lord Almighty, there is no trouble that can come in your way. Ustate man mein kar nirankar, karman mere sat vyavhar. Praise the formless God, Nirankar, in your realization, in your soul, in your heart. And karman mere sat vyavhar. And my mind, think good, do good. Because when you think good, automatically you start doing good action. निर्मल रसना अमृत पियो सदा सुलहेला कर लेहो जियो निर्मल रसना अमृत पियो सदा सुहेला कर लेह जियो drink the pure nectar निर्मल रसना drink the pure nectar in through the tongue of your mind. Absorb the goodness of God's name like one absorbs tasty food. Sada sohela kar leho jiyo, and in this way you shall always remain happy in your soul. नैनो पेक ठाकुर का रंग साध संग बिन सह सब संग. With your eyes you should see the world drama. नैनो पेक ठाकुर का रंग. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, मैं हूँ परम पुरख को दासा देखण आयो जगत तमाशा. This is what even Pancham Paatshai says. नैनो पेक ठाकुर का रंग साध संग बिन सह सब संग. And in the association of the devotees and in the association of the saints, you must have accompaniment. And when you have accompaniment in the association of saints, every kind of attachment with other things vanishes. Charan chalo mare gobind mite paap jape har bind. Walk with your feet on the way of God. It means that follow what the Almighty says, follow what Guru Granth Sahib says, follow what the teaching of the scriptures say. Scriptures meaning the two scriptures which make you attain to God, not the rituals which ask you to do certain things and acts for which you will get some kind of boons. Here we says, Charan chalo marg gobind, mite paap japye har bind. By remembering God in every moment, all your sins will be erased. कर हर क्रम शरुणी हर कथा हर दलगे नानक उजल मथा. कर हर कर्म शरुणी हर कथा. Perform all kind of your deeds with your hands by remembering the Almighty and hearing His sermons and hearing His praise and hearing His stories and hearing the sakhis, hearing all the miracles with your ears. Har darge nanak ujal matha. And in this way, your countenance will shine. And when you are in the court of God, you will be greeted with honors. Vadbagi te jan jag mahe, sada sada har ke gun gaye. Those are very fortunate. Vadbagi. They have got very good luck when they have come in this world and are blessed with singing the praises of God. Ram Naam jo kare vichar se dhanvant gani sansar. They who meditate on the name of God are truly rich. Se dhanvant gani sansar. They don't have any kind of yearnings for other desires. They become truly rich, those people who meditate on the name of God. Mantan mukhe bole har mukhi, sada sada janu te sukhi. They who utter the name of God with their tongue and with their heart. Here mantan means tan man dhandi seva. Tan with your hands, with your body, you perform seva, you perform service, and in your heart you keep on contemplating Him. Man. And of course with dhan, that is also kind of a physical service that you do to God. Sada sada janu te sukhi. These people who have surrendered and who have supplicated before the Almighty, they always remain in bliss. They live in nit anand. Eko ek pachane hai, it ut ki us ho ji jane. The one who realizes only one God, he knows about this world and he also knows about the next world, because he attains a state of Brahmgyan. He attains a state of tranquility. He attains a state of stoicness. For him, grief and sorrow both are alike. And then he knows about what is going on in this world, and he also has the penetrate of what may happen after his soul leaves or after a person's soul leaves. He becomes an understander. He becomes an antarjami. He becomes a person who knows the internal truth about what is going to happen now and what is going to happen in transmigration. Naam sang jiska manmanya, nanak tine ranjan janiya. He whose name is attached with the name of the Almighty. Naam sang jiska manmanya. The one whose spirit, whose soul, his contemplation, his realization, his mind is attached ever with the Almighty. Nanak tene ranjan janiya. He realizes the pure God. He realizes the true God. This is what Guru Nanak says. नाम संजस का मनमान्या नानक तने निरंजन जानिया गुर प्रसाद अपन आप सुझे तिसकी जानो कृष्णा बुझे. He who comes to know the real self of his with the help of the true Guru, with the blessings of the true Guru, तिसकी जानो कृष्णा बुझे. Those who know this with the help of the true Guru, their yearnings, their thirst, their search for God ends. साध संग हर कर हर हर जस कहते सर्व रोकते हो हर जन रहते. The devotee who praises God in the company of holy men, the devotee who is always in praise of God, who remembers God, who is contemplating God in the company of holy men, in the company of saints, in the company of devotees, he shall become immune from any kind of diseases, whether it is man ki disease or whether it is tan ki disease or mandi disease ho ya tandi disease ho, whether it is the disease prevailing in the mind, in the thought, or whether it is a bodily disease. All these diseases get cured with the name of God. Andan kirtan keval bakhyane grisat mein sohi nirbane. He who sings day and night, aat pahar, every moment, the name of God, the kirtan of God, the hymns of God, grisat mein sohi nirbane. He becomes free from all desires. He becomes a kind of a brahmgyani. He becomes a kind of a person who is doing his duty even when he is within his family. He becomes like a lotus in dirt. He becomes like kichad, make kamal. This is what says Guru Nanak. एक ऊपर जिस जन की आशा तिसकी कटिया जम की पासा. He puts all his hopes in God alone. He who relies only in the name of God, he who relies only on the name of God, he who lives with the name of God, his fear of death also shall vanish. Tiski katiye jam ki phasa. Then at the time of death also he will not experience any kind of pain, and he will be free from the fear of death. Par Brahm ki jisman bhukh, nanak tise na lage dukh. He who has the yearning for God. In Rera Sahib we have a word. आखा जीवा विसरे मर जाओ आखण औखा साचा नाव. साचे नाम की लागे बुख उत बुखे खाई चलिए दुख. This is what again Pancham Pacha says over here also. Par Brahm ki jisman bhukh. He who has the yearning, who has the hunger for the Almighty's name, Nanak tase na lage dukh. He shall not have any kind of suffering. He shall be liberated from the sufferings. He shall be liberated from the transfiguration of birth and death and from all worldly sufferings. He will become Jivan Mukt. He will experience the bliss of oneness even while he is alive in this human body. जिस गो हर प्रभमण चित आवे सो संत सुहेला नहीं डोलावे. He who remembers God in his heart, he who always remembers God in his contemplation, so Sant Suhela nahi dulave. He is a true saint. He is a person who has attained the Almighty, and his faith never waves. His faith is stoic. His faith is stable. जिस प्रभु अपना कृपा करे सो सेवक को किसते डरे. The one on whom the Lord Almighty showers his mercy, he is never afraid of anybody. He always remains nidar. He attains the characters of the Almighty. He becomes one with Almighty, and he goes ahead with his mission fearlessly because he knows that मेरा सतगुरु रखवाला हुआ. He knows जिसदा साहेब डाढ़ा होए तिस तुम मार न साके कोए. He knows जिसके सिर ऊपर तू स्वामी सो दुख कैसा पावे. जैसा सा तैसा दिष्टाया, अपने कारज में आप समाया. The to him who to him, let us put it this way, जैसा सा तैसा दिष्टाया. Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj says in the Chaupai, आप अपनी बुध है जेती भरणत भ्रमण तुहे तेती. What Guru Maharaj says over here, जैसा सा तैसा दिष्टाया, the one who has experienced God in a particular way, he sees God in his own way. The Hindu sees him in a way in which the scriptures have taught him. The Muslim sees it in the way a Muslim has been taught. A Sikh sees it in the way a Sikh has been taught. Various people see God in their own way. It is like touching one elephant by 6-7 blind men who are realizing actually the elephant is there, but they are basically touching the part and saying something about him. Jaisa sat adashtaya. And God is contained in his own creation. The stoic nature of God, the formless nature of God, the way the Almighty is. Satnam, Karta, Prukh, Nirbhav, Nirvair, Akal, Murt, Ajuni, Saibhang. These characters of formlessness, these characters of revengelessness, these characters of not being bound by birth and death, these characteristics of self-effulgence shall remain same with God even though people see it in different way. Sodat Sija, Guru Prasad Tat Sabujya, by thinking and constant search for the Almighty, the true devotee finally succeeds in attaining who the Almighty is, what the Almighty is. Guru Prasad Tat Sabujya, and he comes to realize the whole reality of what God is, but this has to be guided by a true Guru. So that's the reason why Sri Guru Granth Sahib has been given the status of the true Guru by Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Jo Prabhu ko mil boche hain, khoj Shabad mile. The Shabad becomes the Guru. Through the Shabad, one can attain the Almighty. Jab dekho tab sab kuch mool, Nanak so sukham soy astul. When I see, I find that God is the cause of all things. Jab dekho tab sab kuch mool. God is doing everything. Karan Karavan Samrat. He is the cause of everything that is happening, was happening, and shall be happening. Nanak so sukham soy astul. He himself is subtle. He himself is sukham. He is very, very subtle. He is all pervading. And he himself is the visible world. You can feel him. You can see him in everything. You can see him that he is around in everything that is existing in the creation. At once he is formless, as at once he is around. As once he is sargun, at once he is nirgun. न किछ जन्मे न किछ मरे, आपन चलते आप ही करे. Neither anyone takes birth nor anyone dies. This line can be compared even with the Bhagavad Gita, where Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that the soul is eternal. The body is a kind of a medium in which the soul resides, does karma, and based on the imbalances again takes birth. Apan charat aap hi kare. The Lord Almighty plays his drama of creating people, destroying people, giving rebirth to people, and then plays around with the people's karmas, because people are not realizing the real karma is the karma in the service to the Almighty. Avan javan dishti andishti agya karidari subsisti. That which comes is the one which goes. That which is visible and that which is invisible. The whole creation, agya karidari subsisti, the whole creation is supported and works according to the will of God. Ape aap sagal mein aap anek jukti rachit thap uthap. He himself is contained in all. He is sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi means he is self-contained, he is self-accomplished, he is omniscient. He doesn't require anything to be done. Anek jukti rachit thap uthap. He makes and unmakes various ways by employing many, many devices. Anek jukti rach thap uthap. His Leela is the way he works. He himself knows, and he accomplishes his task through various kinds of instrumentalities. Abhinasi naik kich khande dharan dare reo bebande. God is immortal. Abhinasi. Abhinasi meaning one who cannot be destroyed. Abhinasi naik kich khande. One who is infrangible. One who cannot be destroyed. One who cannot be destructed. Dharan dare reo bebande. And he is the creator of the whole world. Alak abhay purak pratap aap japaye ta nanak jap. He is alak. He is abhev. And he has got lot of glory. Alak abhev purak pratap. He is not seen. He is alak. He is abhev. He cannot be real. He cannot be basically scrutinized. He is inscrutable. And he is glorious. Pratap. Aap jabaye ta nanak jap. And only if he wishes that a particular man or woman, and only if he wishes that a particular man or woman must obey him, must listen to him, and must repeat his name, shall he repeat his name. Jin prab jata su sobhavant, sagal sansar udre tinmant. Jin prab jata su sobhavant, sagal sansar udre tinmant. They who have realized God have become famous. Jin prab jata su sobhavant. They are honorable. They are truly worthy. And those people who have attained the name of God have become famous. Sagal sansar udre tinmante. The whole world is saved by the sermons, by the teachings of these kind of select people who have been selected by God to spread His name. प्रभ के सेवक सगल उदाहरण प्रभ के सेवक दुख विसारण. God's servants are capable of saving all. The Lord Almighty injects His own characteristics into God's servants, and they become saviors of many people, they become leaders of many people, they become guiders of many people, they become guides to many people, they become a source of meditation to many people. Prab ke sevak dukh visarane. And these people naturally remove the sorrows and pains of others. Ape mele kripale gur ka sabat jap beh nihale. The merciful. Ape mele kripal. The merciful one, the Almighty, unites those few people with Himself. Gur ka sabad jab beh nihale. They who repeat the name, they who repeat the Shabad, they who repeat the Shabad Gurbaani, they who repeat the hymns, they who repeat the sermons, they who repeat any kind of praises of God under a true Guru's instructions always are happy. Gur ka sabad jab beh nihale. उनकी सेवा सोई लगे जिसनो कृपा करे बढ़वागे. Man is caused to serve such ones. All the people who are associated to such kind of people on whom God has showered blessings are the people who serve and who ought to serve those people who have been blessed by the Almighty. उनकी सेवा सोई लागे जिसनो कृपा करे बढ़वागे. On whom the Lord Almighty has showered His blessings are the people who are served by all, and in turn these people guide those people also. Naam japat pave visrame nanak tin purak ko uttam karimane. Naam japat pave visrame nanak tin purak ko uttam karimane. They who repeat the name of God acquire a blissful state of detached mind. Naam japat pave visram. And while doing the chanting of the name, while contemplating God, they become blissful in their state of mind. Nanak tin purab ko uttam karimane. Such people are the most pious people, and they are considered to be the best people on the spiritual plane by Guru Nanak Maharaj. So says Guru Nanak Maharaj. Jo kuch kare so prab ke rang, sada sada base har sang. Whatever the servant of God does, he does out of love for God. He does out of his obedience to God. He does out of his obedience to the will of God. Sada sada bas hai har sang. He, such a true devotee, ever and ever resides with God, contemplates God, is with God, is following God, is chanting God, is in accompaniment of God. Sahaj subhai hoye so hoye, karne har pashane soye. Whatever happens, such a person believes that it is happening according to his will. The first few lines of Japji Sahib. Hukum rajai chalna nanak likhya naal. Karne har pachhane soye. He remembers that whatever has happened has been with the will of the Almighty. And whatever shall happen with the will of the Almighty. Prab ka kiya jan meet lagana, jaisa sa taisa adhisthana. Such a person always takes pleasure. Such a person always takes pleasure in whatever is happening. Prab ka kiya jan meet lagana. Whatever happens with the will of God. So whatever happens is always tasteful. Tera kiya meetha lage har naam padarat nanak mange. Some commentators say on this line that whatever God does is pleasing to the devotees. It means one and the same thing. It means that whatever the Almighty has done, whatever the Almighty is doing, is basically for the benefit, and nobody should object to this, and people should always say that yes, it has happened with the will of God and we are happy with it. Jiste ubje tismay samave, o sukhnadan uno bani ave. They remain absorbed in the name of God, from whom they have sprung, from whom we have all come out, from whom the entire creation has begun. Everybody should always stay submerged in the name of God, and all the devotees of all the true devotees of God shall always stay submerged in the name of God. Oi Sukhnadan Uno Bani Ave, they become the treasure of all happiness, and they alone are worthy of the status which the Almighty has bestowed on them. आपस को आप दीनो मान नानक प्रभजन एको जान. The Lord Almighty Himself gives honor to Himself as well as to His devotees. Guru Nanak says that realizing God and the God's servant are one and the other. Not Nanak, Guru Nanak Maharaj verse says a very meaningful thing, that when God has bestowed some honor of some particular honor on a particular devotee, honor on a particular man, or honor on a particular saint on whom He has bestowed His true character, He Himself also is deserving to be respected as much as one respects the Almighty. With this we end the 14th Ashtapadi. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.